Hello, today what we're going to learn is data types and initializing variables. First what I want to do is create a new project, an empty project. We'll name it tutorial 2 data types var declaration. Alright. And once that happens, we will create a new file. So source. Alright, we will start off with the standard structure of a program. By including iostream and standard lib.h, we can do int main and start a main function. Now we haven't gone over this, but this is the main structure, how you really kind of want to start your programs. What we're going to talk about is the data types. There are different types. Let me make a comment here to make it easier to read. There are different types. We have char, which is a character or a small integer. We have int, which is pretty obvious. It's an integer, which is just a number. There's a float, and that is pretty much a decimal number, like 0.02. We have bool, which is short for boolean. It's a true or false. Then we have double, which is a double precision floating number, and that's the same thing as a float, but it's got a higher precision, double precision. And I think the last one we have is a wide character, but we will not talk about that one yet. These are the 5 standard ones that we'll use. And to start off with one, let's say we want to make a number like int. We'll start with the word int and give it a name. It has to start with a letter or a underscore, and you can name it anything, but it can only be named. You can only have one variable of that name. If you have it in separate functions, then you can make different. You can make them the same name if they're in different functions, but if it's in a global scope, then you can't. Let's just say I num1. This is declaring a variable num1. And what we can do is use an assignment operator, the equal sign, to make it equal to, say, 5, not 65. Once we've done that, num1 now equals 5. So if we went to print 5 to the screen, we can do cout and then the variable name. And let me just fix this here so we don't have to get confused. Add using name space standard. That way you don't have to write out std : This will print out 5, and right here we will add a pause so we can review what we've written. Also, what we can add is another set of less than signs and do end L. What that does is the same as a carriage return, that \n, but it's a different way of doing it. Once we've done that, we can build it and run it, and it will compile. We should get the number 5. Alright, let's see here. And the number 5 was printed to the screen, just like we declared it. If we wanted to say print out what we can do is we can equal it to number 5, and then after this statement we can do num1, and we can do another equal sign, 10, and that way now it will equal 10, the value of 10. And just to show you that that does work, we can build it and run it, and it will then set num1 equal to 5, print it out, then it will set num1 equal to 10 and then print that out. This is just a standard integer. Now if we want to try something different, say with decimals, we'll do a float, and we'll do fnum, just short, and we'll set fnum equal to, say, 1.32, sorry. Sorry, that was my phone ringing. Then you can print that out, fnum, like that, and pause. Build and run. Just to show you that this works, it prints 1.32. Now, if we set this to int and tried to set it equal to a decimal point, I don't believe it works. I think it will return something in, or not. It will just retrieve the floor of that decimal point. So make sure you keep these data types close to each other. We could possibly do char, and that is a character, and we can set that equal to, say, has to be in single quotations, and we can do like f. We build, wait, let's print that to the screen. Build and run. And that prints f to the screen. If we typed more than one letter, like, I don't know, say C++ like that, it should only show C, or it will return errors. Alright, so it put the last character that we declared, that was the plus. It did give you warnings in the build log. Now if you want to do more than one character, what you want to do is put them in double quotations and give this an array, and we'll talk about those later on. And an array is just this is a different way of making a string, and it's more commonly used, but we will soon talk about this. Error storage size is unknown. Okay, so this doesn't work right now. We're going to have to declare it a different way. What we'll do is set it equal to something in the same line as we declare it, and we can do that with anything. Now that we've done that, we can build, and it should build and compile, right? Yes, it does. And it prints C++. Now, you can define anything, even like an int, num equal to anything on the same line. Sometimes it's better to do that way, or if you want, like, you can also do it just int num, and then num equals 5. These are equal to each other, they're the exact same thing. Sometimes it's best to do it one way, sometimes it's best to do it the other way. Anyways, now that we've done that, we could try string. Now what we're going to do, if we use a string, we will include string, and we'll declare it just like this, string, and then the name of it, my string, and we can set my string equal to, say, C++. Now we can see out my string, if I can spell, along with new character, new line, build and run, and that will see out C++. Now, arrays we'll talk about later. That's what I did with the char. What we can do now, I'm not sure if I have enough time, but I'm sure we will. We could talk about simple math. Now, if we have, say, int num1, and we'll set that to equal to 5. And we have another int num2, and we'll set that equal to, say, 15. Now what we can do is either do another num3, and set that equal to, in parentheses, num1 plus num2, or a different way. This is probably the smartest way, but this way you can do cout, and in parentheses num1 plus num2, followed by that character return, and L. Now we can build this, and it should return 20. Yes, it did. So that's some basic integer math. Now if we wanted to do, say, make the second one a float and do, say, 15.5, then I think we can do it that way without having to do typecasting. Yes, we can. So now it will return 20.5. Alright, well, I think this concludes variables and initializing them and using them in output. Next, we will do some standard output and input with variables using char and string and int and float. And I will see you in the next tutorial.